Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. 1. There are over 400 species of shark. Christmas must be a nightmare for the shark family, judging by how big it is. There are around 450 known species of shark, divided into 8 separate orders. Each one has adapted to survive in a completely different environment. Some spend their lives thousands of feet under the sea, others have made freshwater rivers their homes. Some sharks can even walk on land. The most staggering thing about the family is just how much they can vary in size. The smallest species of shark is the dwarf lantern shark. It grows just 6 inches long and weighs half an ounce. Compare that to a whale shark, which can reach 40+ feet and over 20 tons. Out of all these fish, how many do you think attack humans? Half? 1/4? Try 3%. Only 33 species have ever been known to harm people. Take out the one-off, freak encounters, and that number drops to 15 dangerous shark species. In fact, the vast majority of attacks were from just 3 sharks, bulls, tigers, and great whites. 2. They're older than the dinosaurs. Sharks have been around for a really long time. For reference, the very first dinosaurs evolved 240 million years ago, and T-Rex didn't show up until 70 million years ago. Sharks make these ancient fossils look like the new kids on the block. The earliest examples people have found are over 450 million years old. That's not even the crazy part. While the rest of life on Earth evolved and adapted into something completely new, many sharks stayed more or less the same. Some species, like the goblin shark, have been around for over 100 million years without changing at all. It's a classic case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sharks have always been the perfect predators. They found their place at the top of the food chain a long time ago, and never saw much reason to change. 3. They can live for hundreds of years. Continuing with their really old theme of shark facts, Greenland sharks are some of the longest living animals on Earth. Scientists estimate that they live for up to 500 years. They don't even reach adulthood until they turn 150. How does an animal live that long? By adapting to a life in the slow lane. Greenland sharks are the slowest moving fish in the sea. Their maximum speed is around 1.6 miles per hour, and they usually plod along at half that. They cruise the depths of the Arctic Ocean, thriving in waters barely above freezing. Despite all that, they're huge. Fully grown Greenland sharks can top 20 feet and weigh over half a ton. They're a real poster child for the old saying, slow and steady wins the race. 4. You can count their rings, just like trees. You may be wondering, how can we know how old a shark is if it lives longer than us? It's not like several generations can keep a family shark, it's not a tortoise. A lot of what we know about the age of sharks is guesswork and math, based on how big they get and how quickly they grow. However, there's a much more interesting way to find out their age. Shark skeletons are made of cartilage, not bone. Because of this, their backbones grow in layers as they get older. Scientists can scan and count these layers, just like you'd count the rings on a tree. Once they work out how long a layer takes to grow, they can calculate exactly how old the shark is. 5. They never need to go to the dentist. Sharks spend a lot of their time biting things, at least, that's what they always make the headlines for. With such a busy schedule of chomping and chewing, you'd think that they'd need a serious dental plan to keep those pearly whites in order. Underwater dentists are in short supply, though, so they've had to adapt instead. To begin with, sharks come with a built-in supply of toothpaste. Researchers in Germany found that the teeth of several shark species contain fluorinated calcium phosphate. That means nothing to us either, but we've been reliably informed that it's a main ingredient in toothpaste. Even if sharks do lose a tooth, it's no big deal, they can just grow another one. Unlike humans, sharks aren't limited to a puny 2 sets of teeth. They're constantly replacing them, and some species get through an incredible 30,000 teeth over their lifetime. 6. Their skin is covered in teeth. Not satisfied with a never-ending supply of teeth in their mouths, sharks have also grown them all over their skin. Shark skin is made up of tiny scales called denticles. They look like endless rows of teeth, and that's pretty much what they are. They're made of the same enamel as human teeth, only they're not designed for biting things. When a shark moves, each individual denticle creates a vortex, a pocket of low pressure. This lets them swim more silently and efficiently than other fish. They can also flex and bend their scales to turn more quickly. In fact, they're so aerodynamic that engineers have been looking into using the design on airplanes. Shark skin is good for more than just speed, though. It also acts as a secondary skeleton. Sharks don't have proper bones, so their muscles attach to the inside of a corset of scales. Instead, sharks are covered in an exoskeleton of razor-sharp teeth. Talk about overkill. 7. Sharks will eat almost anything. If there's one place where the silver screen meets real-life shark facts, it's that they'll eat anything. Sharks are inquisitive by nature, especially the large predators like great whites and makos. Combine this with the confidence that comes from sitting at the top of the food chain, and you get some weird things turning up in their stomachs. Greenland sharks grow fat and happy on a diet ranging from fish and seals to moose and even polar bears. Great whites are famous for taking bites out of boats, but did you know they've also been found with an entire suit of armor in their stomach? Seriously, there's no end to what they'll try and nibble of. Sadly, these wacky snacks don't do sharks any favors. The thing that most commonly turns up in their stomachs is plastic. Sharks regularly wash up with a stomach so full of plastic that they couldn't eat anything else. Warning, it's not a pretty sight. They're either taking the term junk food way too literally or, more likely, mistaking it for prey like jellyfish and squid. 8. You can put a shark into a trance by petting it. Sharks have a reputation as fast and furious hunters. They tear through the ocean, gobbling up whatever comes their way. That's certainly true for the most part, but these apex predators also have a more relaxed, zen side that gets triggered when you rub them on the nose. How does this work? Tonic immobility, or as beastmasters call it, animal hypnosis. Some animals go into a paralyzed trance in response to specific stimuli. For sharks, that includes having their noses fondled. You can also knock them out by flipping them upside down. Nobody knows exactly why this happens. To be honest, the more important question should be, who discovered this in the first place, and why? Were divers just flipping fish onto their backs for fun? Was it a heat-of-the-moment response to a shark attack? We could ask the sharks, but they're probably still too out of it to make much sense. 9. Female sharks can get pregnant all on their own. The more shark facts we learn, the more we realize that they should probably have taken over the planet by now. A prime example of this is Leonie, a female zebra shark kept in captivity in Queensland, Australia. Leonie used to be in a stable relationship with male zebra shark Leo. One day, she was moved to a new tank away from Leo and all other male sharks. She spent 3 years without a mate before she decided enough was enough and just straight up made herself pregnant. Among scientists, this is called asexual reproduction. Leonie wasn't the first one to do it. Lizards, snakes, and even other sharks have managed it in the past. The difference is that Leonie had already had babies the old-fashioned way before. This was the first case of animals switching to asexual reproduction, and proof that sharks will adapt and thrive in any situation. 10. Sharks' greatest predator? Us. So, sharks aren't nearly as dangerous as people make out. It's almost as if they're being framed. Wait a minute, what if we're the bad guys? Tragically, we kind of are. People kill around 100 million sharks each year. That's 3 sharks every second of every day, all year long. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, around a quarter of the world's sharks and rays are at risk of extinction. A lot of them are caught by accident on long lines or in trawler nets. They also end up in traditional medicine sold as anything from cancer cures to aphrodisiacs. However, the reason most sharks are killed is to make soup. People catch them, cut off their fins, and throw them back, often while they're still alive. The fins are then used to make shark fin soup, a traditional feasting dish and delicacy in China and Vietnam. This is despite the fact that the fins add no flavor or nutrition to the meal.